I'm going to attempt to survive the next 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft. If I die at any point through this video, my world gets deleted. Will I survive 200 days? Watch to find out. I did already survive my first 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore, so if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and click the link in the top right now. But I will go over a quick little recap if you just want to get straight to the 200, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. In the first 200 days, I built my house, got full netherite armor, and I killed the ender dragon. And basically my goals for these next 100 days are I want to get a quad beacon, which means I have to kill 4 withers, which means I need 12 wither skulls to make those 4 withers. So I've never fought a wither in Java before, so I don't know how hard this will be. So hopefully I don't die. My other goals for 200 days are to finish my house, or at least make it a lot bigger. I plan on expanding it, and then I want to make at least 1 automatic farm. So hopefully I can get all of these goals done, and hopefully I don't die before 200 days. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Days 101 to 105 I spent fighting off pillagers and trying to get a totem. I ended up getting about 3 totems out of this fight, and I'd say it was pretty worth it. In my opinion, totems are one of the most essential items in hardcore because they basically just give you extra lives. So if you don't know how a totem works, is you're holding it in your hand or your offhand and you die, it'll basically just resurrect you. Days 107 to 109 I spent chopping down trees. I was planning on expanding my base and making it look a little bit easier to look at. I'd say I'm not exactly the greatest jungle builder. This is my first project I've ever done with jungle wood. Days 110 to 113 I spent mining for various materials like coal, but mostly I was trying to get a bunch of iron and gold because I'm planning on killing the wither and getting some beacons soon. And I needed a lot of materials to fill up the bottom so that I could fully power the beacon. On day 114 I traded with my Fletcher for some emeralds. I spent days 115 to 117 trying to get a good book villager. I really wanted to max my gear up before day 200. I was trying to get a bunch of emeralds so I could buy a bunch of books, and so I spent all of day 118 just trading sticks in for emeralds. I ended up using most of the wood that I'd originally chopped for my house just for sticks, but I was getting pretty far progress-wise with my armor, so it ended up working out pretty well. I AFK'd days 119 to days 120 in the hopes of mending my tools. This didn't go quite as well as I was hoping, but I got a little bit of XP, so it wasn't the end of the world. I spent days 121 to 127 preparing for the wither fight and collecting some wither skulls. Yes, I know my wither luck is awful. I did not have looting on my sword yet, so it went even slower than it normally would, but my wither skull luck is just insanely bad for some reason, so that's why it took me so long. And on day 128, it was time to fight the wither. So I began to put his wither skulls on his soul sand body, and then the fight began. I was trying to fight him super legit, so that's why I didn't just fight him in a box underground. But he kind of just flew around and was kind of super overpowered against me, just kind of raining down on me with his wither skulls. So I eventually led him over to a mountain and tried to get him to go inside of that, because I was really struggling to take him down. But then, on day 119, I struck the beast down with some well-aimed swings from my sword, and I had my first nether star. On day 130, I crafted my beacon and I started to get to work on making all of the layers beneath it. For the rest of day 130, I crafted some netherite to fix up my shovel a little bit because it had taken quite the beating, and then I spent the rest of day 130 just mining a bunch of dirt out of the way so I could make more space for my beacon. For day 131, I worked on the front of my house. For the rest of day 131, I decided to just continue working on the structure. I wasn't really 100% sure what it was going to be, but I was thinking about making it like my bedroom almost. And so I just started to put up some pillars and fill in between the gaps with jungle planks. And this is how it turned out. I awoke on day 132 and began construction on a watchtower. This is what ended up looking like at the end, and is basically just a continuation of my bedroom structure. I'm not really sure what it is yet. And this is more for cosmetic looks than actually use, because I don't really actually need a watchtower in a single player world, but I just thought it looked cool. Spent the rest of day 132 starting to outline my next structure. I was kind of just going with the flow and just building a bunch of structures next to each other and connecting them. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this one yet is gonna be. I kind of want to make it like a parrot party room because I'm pretty sure if you put like a parrot next to a music disc that's playing, then it starts like partying or something. So I just want to try that out. That's basically all I did for the rest of day 132. I woke up on day 133 to admire my work, and then it was time to get back to work. I started off by making a path connecting all my buildings that weren't already connected. I was just going with kind of a simple jungle plank style, and then I was also trying to put some torches down to light the area up so mobs wouldn't spawn. I then flew around and discovered a jungle temple. I've never actually looted one of these before, so decided to hop in and check it out. I knew there was booby traps, I just didn't really know how they worked. I heard they were pretty simple to fix though, so I figured I would probably not die. So I was super careful walking my ways around the corners. Then I found these torches, and I was super big brain and decided to just break the blocks behind them so nothing happened. Then I collected some gold. This is where I found the booby traps. I did end up getting hit, but it was like just one arrow, so it really didn't matter. I ended up collecting some arrows from the dispenser. And then I ran over, and there was nothing in the chest. I didn't really understand how the second trap worked until I saw the tripwire. That was actually kind of sneaky, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so I looted the jungle temple. On day 134, I began the bulk of my base. Basically, right now I was just carving out a huge circle, and I was just placing jungle planks as the flooring. And I had plans of making a huge dome out of this, and this is going to be basically the main part of my base. And it's going to be definitely the biggest part, and this is where I'm planning on storing my beacons once I finish it. I AFK'd at my zombie spawner days 135 through 137. I spent day 138 farming magma blocks from the nether. I was trying to make a zombie piglin gold farm above the nether roof, and I needed a lot of magma blocks, so I spent all of day 138 just farming them. On day 139, I decided to switch farms, and I started work on an Enderman farm, because my friends told me about this, and it was a super effective XP farm. Basically how it works is you build like this huge tower of like netherrack, and then at the very top you put an endermite, I think that's what they're called. And then that endermite, so you do this in the end, all the endermen are going to spawn around the endermite. They flock to the endermite, and then they all fall down. They take a bunch of fall damage, and then you're waiting at the bottom. You hit them once, and they all die. And in like 60 seconds, you can get like 30 levels of XP. It's insane. So I just needed this, especially since my tools were low and they all have mending. So I worked on that for days 139 through days 142. Days 143 to 148, I basically just spent completely farming and enchanting with this Enderman farm because this thing shreds and it just gets you so many levels. It's just crazy. So I was just farming up to level 30 and enchanting, so I still don't have max gear yet. And I basically just kept going till I had completely kitted out gear and all my mending had finished. So I basically just had a fresh set of maxed out gear. I spent days 149 to 155 killing wither skeletons to try and get wither skulls, because as I said before, I am trying to get a quad beacon, and I currently only have one beacon, so I just needed a bunch of wither skulls to do a bunch of wither fights. But this time when I do my wither fight, I'm going to do it underground so I can do it much more effectively and efficiently. Days 156 through 159, I spent building an iron farm and moving villagers into it. The villagers took forever to move in, and basically I used a rail system and minecarts to move them all the way up to the iron farm. Funny story, on day 159 I finished my iron farm, and then I realized how completely useless this is on a hardcore world where the entire purpose is for me to survive a certain amount of days. Basically, I make like a set amount of iron, or like about the same amount of iron each day, and it's set by like Minecraft days. Like every Minecraft day I'll get a certain amount of iron. So if I were to actually AFK this farm, it would be super inefficient in hardcore because it would take me an entire day to maybe get like one block of iron, which is super inefficient for the type of video series I'm going after. On day 160 through 165, I spent building the big part of my base. It's just basically a huge circle with my beacons in the middle. That's all I've got right now. Eventually I'm going to make it into a dome with glass in the top so the beacon can get through. On days 166 through 170, I spent building the entire dome. This did take a while, and I had to go back and forth. I also put black glass on the top so that I'd have black beacons, because in my opinion, the black beacon looks the best. Since I built this huge structure off of the side of the hill, I had a huge like hole underneath of it. So I spent days 171 through 175 just filling that in by putting walls on the sides. And I was planning on keeping this hollow so I could put something inside of it. I spent day 176 clearing out excess stone and basically just carving my way more into the mountains so I could make a bigger wheat farm, because I love my wheat farms in Minecraft. For the rest of day 176, I decided to head out and start farming more wither skulls from the nether fortress, and on my way over I stumbled across a bastion, so I decided to loot it up. Nothing crazy was in there, but then I made my way over to the fortress and I started to farm some skulls. And that's exactly what I did. I just farmed for the rest of day 176, and I got a couple wither skulls. And on day 177, it was time to fight 2 withers at one time. I've never done this before. I just thought it'd be a cool little challenge for hardcore. So I started off by backing away because I'm pretty sure they explode when they spawn. I was pretty sure this would be one of my most difficult challenges yet in this hardcore world. So once they'd fully spawned in, I started with some bow shots because I didn't really have to get too close to 2 withers. This first wither, I was just completely destroying with my arrows, hitting pretty much every single shot, I'd say. And then he got super close, so I just started to smack him with my sword. And I was pretty much just destroying his health at this point, so I figured I would just ignore all of the hits I was taking and just tank him. So I got the first wither, I got his nether star, and then I just went straight for the second one. And this guy, he was putting up a bit of more of a fight, so I had to back up for a sec to regen. And then he flew away, and then I just shot him because he was stuck in the ceiling. I don't know why, but he could not figure out how to get down. So I just ran over to him and started shooting until he found his way down. Pretty much just free shots right now. I really wanted to get him close, so I just hit him with my sword because I feel like I have strength on, by the way, so I just shred with my sword right now. I almost died and lost a totem here, but I just kept on going after eating a golden carrot, and there was my second wither. And I had 2 nether stars for 2 more beacons. And now it was time to complete my quad beacon. I've never built one of these before, especially in survival. This is awesome. I put black glass above it, obviously, best type of beacon. And I didn't have enough materials because I just used all of them to actually power all of them, but it was a work in progress. I now have a quad beacon, so this is one of my main accomplishments I wanted to get in this 100 days. I then headed over to my village and finished a raid that I'd started a long time ago and just never finished for some reason. Got a couple totems out of that, so that was nice. I spent days 178 through 185 just clearing out pretty much the entirety of the inside of my large beacon structure. There was a bunch of hills and stuff. I cleared out all of the natural hills and all that stone, dirt, and basically I just cleared it all out and made room for my wheat farm and for my storage room. I spent days 186 through 189 collecting blackstone and basalt materials for my storage system because that's pretty much all that I made it with. And then I also took a trip back to the end to grab some end rods because that's what I'm putting around my chests, and then also the egg. I spent days 190 through 193 finishing my storage system and making my little display case for my ender dragon egg. It was all coming together pretty nicely. Days 194 through 196 I spent just completely lighting up everything in my base and filling up a smooth stone layer above the farm and the storage system. I'm not even kidding, I spent days 197 to 199 literally just organizing my base. I was moving everything from chests and shulkers and furnaces to my new storage system and organizing it into cobblestone, dirt, food, armors, stuff like that. And I spent, the entire days of 197 through 199 doing that. And then I went to bed for the last time before day 200. And on day 200, I woke up and I did some fishing. I just wanted to take a minute to thank each and every one of you that has subscribed to my channel. You don't understand how much it means to me when I put all this work in, and then you guys subscribe and show all your support. I'm not one for speeches, but I just wanted to get that out there because I am grateful for all of you. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video.